Zach Cregger is filming the new Resident Evil movie in Prague, and I could not be more excited. As a big fan of the Resident Evil franchise, as well as Zach Cregger's work on weapons and the Civil War on drugs, I'm really excited to see what he can bring to this franchise. But I still have some opinions on what I think could make it great. So in this video today, we're going to discuss and speculate what I hope is in this Resident Evil movie, and also what movies I think would be good inspiration for this film. So before I do get in the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and comment and let me know what your favorite Resident Evil movie is, if you have one, and tell me what you would like to see out of this movie. So when we look at this franchise, the movies are not seen as a highlight, but more of a warning label to hire the right people when adapting a video game into the movie. Because to me, what makes the movie so bad is that they just take what made Resident Evil good and decided to go a completely different direction. I mean, the first movie alone takes 38 minutes to see a zombie. I really feel like we're just watching a take on corporate America taking over everyday life, and how it kind of reflects that. And that's why I feel like the first thing I really want to discuss what makes a good Resident Evil movie is the bare necessities of Resident Evil. When looking at what makes Resident Evil, it's a balancing of three things: survival horror, cheesiness, and zombies asterisk. RE is a gold standard when it comes to survival horror games, and when making a movie on this world, we shouldn't be tracking a group of 4 or 5 people. We should be following maybe 1 or 2 at most. Sure, you can have other people in this movie, you know, in and out of the film. Maybe it's a villain, maybe it's an antagonist, maybe it's Wesker for all we know. But our central characters should be isolated and alone. The only other people on the screen should be dying, dead, or undead. Another big part of survival horror is resource management and knowing when you need to use them. People naturally want to use their guns and pop the heads off the zombies blocking their way, but it's really a dance to get around them. In the older films, and even some of the most recent films, I really feel like these characters are shoot first, be scared later type characters. I want to see the fear in somebody going through a mansion filled with zombies, and all they have is a knife and a gun with 1 bullet and a potted plant. We need that. We need save rooms. We need the little area where they can take a little breath, relax for a moment, and reestablish what they need to do next. When making this movie, look to the older games, not RE6, not RE5 even. I really do think that the original games have such a good premise is that you could steal so much from those games, even the remakes. What I'm trying to get at is that it already happened, and we all collectively wish it hadn't. This movie needs to feel like we're at the end of our rope, and you really have to I just read what I just said already. This movie needs to feel like we're at the end of our rope, and you really have to fart at the same time. And that's where we kind of lead into my next point, the cheesiness of it all. I want the campiness. I want the self-awareness. I do like moments in these B horror where they're looking in the camera. It adds to the cheesiness. And Resident Evil isn't a stranger to the cheesiness.
I've been expecting you, my brethren.
No thanks, bro.
What the fuck? This house is dangerous. There are terrible demons. Ouch!
RE is built on the backs of B horror movies and choppy scripts. For every 3 scares, I want at least 1 little laugh. I want things in this movie to happen that are so terrifying, so gruesome, that it draws on to the point where you're laughing. Absurdity in a franchise like this needs to happen, and I think Cregger is a perfect person to do that. Especially because he knows how to make sure people on screen are smiling and happy at all times. The last essential piece to the puzzle is the driving force behind the tension and horror, the zombies, asterisk. I want this movie to show off how fucked the T-virus really is, and the best way to do that is to give us all the variants. I'm talking zombies, I'm talking zombie dogs, I'm talking crimson heads, I'm talking crows, and I'm especially talking about the Tyrant. I don't want the biggest baddie in the game to be a licker that digivolved after eating someone. I know that this movie is not being a direct ripoff of the game, but wouldn't it be cool to actually get some distinction in the monsters instead of just a zombie worker A or a civilian zombie 2? These are the bare necessities. The simple bare necessities of Resident Evil. So take these three little pieces of the puzzle, put them together for us, Zach. Really show us something special. Now, I want to show you what you should look at when you're making these movies to give you some inspiration. For this part of the video, I was going to make a PowerPoint and then I got way too lazy to do that. So what I'm just going to do is just, I have it on my phone here, the script's on my phone. I'm literally just going to read the movies that I have and kind of just talk about which parts of those movies that are going to go along with this. I'm going to add some B-roll for you fiends who just can't look at, a screen for too long of just me. So there will be some B-roll. So let's go. Evil Dead. When we're talking about what would bring some flavor to a Resident Evil movie with Evil Dead, it's the camera shots. It's the Sam Raimi action shots where you zoom in on a chainsaw or you're zooming in on a hand that's moving and he has to saw his arm up. Those scenes in Evil Dead just bring about the fun to the horror. Evil Dead is probably the number one movie that I hope this movie looks like. I'm just even thinking about like the scene where it's the scene in Evil Dead 2 where the camera's chasing Ash and it's like dragging him and all that. That could be those shots right there. That could be your zombie. That could be your zombie chasing Austin Abrams in the woods or in the mansion or wherever the hell they are. I want that. I also like the practical zombie effects that are within Evil Dead. And the following movie that I'm going to be tying in, which I'm going to go ahead and just bring it up now, which is Dead Alive. Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, or I can't think of the other name of it, but in the US it's Dead Alive. Both of these movies are so focused on like the campy horror, the blood, crazy amounts of blood. That's what I want in this movie. I don't need digital effects zombies. I don't even need like what the zombies looked like in the remake of RE2. What I want is the practical effects that look campy. And Zach Cregger said he wants it to be like a Rock'em Sock'em like movie. We're not looking at a film. I said film earlier, but we're not looking at a film. We're looking at a movie. Think Jaws. Think Evil Dead. Summer fun. Give us this. Give us the buckets of blood that we want. So yeah, those are the first two movies. I got to pick out what's looking at next. The next movie I have here is Silent House with Elizabeth Olsen. I think this is one of like her first movies that I ever saw of her when I was like, oh, cool, Mary-Kate and Ashley. Oh, Silent House is so good for one particular reason: the setting and the camera work. This movie is shot in one take. I think it's maybe like one or two, but it's very minimal camera switches. Also, the setting of the house, the fact that it's so quiet. You need silence in a movie like this. For how much action there's going to be, we still have to have those moments where we're following the characters around and it's quiet and we can't hear anything. That's what I want out of this Resident Evil movie to pair with the cheesy campy B horror. And I think Silent House is a perfect example of that. And again, the minimal camera changes, just following our characters along as they go through this mansion. And then as we're getting through the mansion, oh boom, camera shot. Now it's a camera chasing our lead character because it's a zombie dog and it's ramping like this. I'm gonna put some B-roll of the Evil Dead camera shot there, or Tremors. Tremors is another movie that uses that camera shot too that I really like. Next movie I have here is Beau is Afraid. Another movie with great camera work that I would really like to see maybe in a movie like this. Specifically the panorama shot where Beau is like sitting in his mom's house and it's just he's center. Shots like that are really sick. And also the shot where he's like walking up the spiral staircase there. Even the shots where like it has to go across the street to the grocery store to go. I think he's just getting water. I think that's all he was getting, and it's that tension. That's another part of Ari Aster that you could also incorporate this. Cregger is really good at building tension, but just those moments that are just building up the music, just going into that. And I'm going to get to music later, but I'm going to go ahead and just go into the next topic, which was John Carpenter music. I know Cregger's already making his own music with his buddies. He did that in Weapon. Keep it up. That's all. I guess that's all I can say is keep it up. Give us some like old synth beats to this movie. Hell, I think a movie like Resident Evil could really benefit from more of a Friday the 13th like string action. Just gotta roll. It's like I'm just gonna play here. We need that. We need that in a movie like this. I need tension. I need tension building to a point where we're in a save room and the music calm down and they bring in the safe room music. These last 3 points that I have, I actually kind of took these from my friend. We had a conversation about this movie and he brought us some pretty good points, and I just want to I want to share these as well because I think they do kind of fit into my 3rd point, which is zombies asterisk. Starting with Aliens and Predator. My favorite thing about these types of movies is you're having a group of people who are very trained and equipped to solve a problem. You're sending them into a situation where they are clearly not prepared for the fight. And the best way my friend explained it was it starts off as an action movie and slowly turns into a horror movie. I think a movie like this fits that narrative. Now, of course, again, these people would either be splitting. And in my scenario, you're going to have a group of people coming together and splitting off. They're going to realize they fucked up. They were not prepared for a situation. And this and these monsters, asterisks, has split them apart. That is essentially what makes, to me, the Alien and Predator movies so special. Is it's either picking people off slowly, quickly, or it's splitting people apart and then taking them on one by one. Also, the dialogue in those movies of just that initial maybe 20-30 minutes of the movie where I didn't finish filming this part, but essentially I had the worst absolute dialogue that I could give for banter, and the point I was just trying to make was the dialogue is so cool in these movies because it feels just like very human, very fun, and it's a good contrast to the zombies. Back to you. And the last 2, I'm gonna kind of put these movies together, but The Host and Anaconda. In fact, I'm just gonna go ahead and branch monster movies. That could include like Shin Godzilla, because I feel like that kind of would fit this narrative too. When you play these Resident Evil games, you're not just fighting zombie people. You're fighting zombies. Dead things that have been given a virus and now they've morphed into a monster or something like that. We have monsters in these games that are snakes, spiders, dogs, other things. I think frogs. I'm pretty sure hunters are just frogs. I could be wrong on that. But yeah, I mean, some of the coolest monsters in this in Resident Evil are not human. So I think look to movies like Anaconda, The Host, Shin Godzilla, Cloverfield. How do those interactions with the people to the monsters go? He opens up, you see Austin Abrams open up the door and he's like, I'm not going in there. Shuts the door. It's the snake. It just breaks the door down. To wrap this up, I just really want to express my excitement for this new take on the Resident Evil franchise. Obviously, some of the movies in the past have not been very good. Cregger has admitted, I believe, that he has not seen those other movies, which is a good thing. All I can ask, just honor the games. There's such a great world already pre-established in these games. But yeah, just honor the games, man. That's all I ask. That being said, my name's Tim. I just talked about that, and I'll see you guys later.